Are we good, Joe? Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone this evening. We'll begin with a moment of silence. And I'd ask you to remember former city manager Nate Stansberry and his family. His Aunt Patsy just passed away yesterday. Thank you. And if you'd stand, we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ready for roll call?
Mayor Kim Harrison Edwards. Here. Councilwoman Sherry Rogers. Here. Councilman Stephen White.
Here.
Councilwoman Debbie Gump. Here. Councilman Adam Sims.
Here.
City Manager, Finance Manager Joe Solberg. Here. Police Chief Mike Posey.
Here.
Fire Chief Jimmy Settle. Building Code Zoning Enforcement Officer Marty Lewis.
Here.
Street Commissioner Mike Starrett.
Here.
Sanitary Director Dee Evans. Here. City Clerk Kathy Sims.
Moving on to the visitors section, we have one person signed in, Josh Rockwood.
I just wanted to come today to introduce myself. I'm interested in the city council position. It's going to be available. Just a quick rundown. I know a lot of people know who I am. I'm Josh Rockwood. I'm from here in Weston. I went through St. Pat's. I'm a member of St. Patrick's Catholic Church. Went to Robert L. Bland, moved in Oldham a few years ago, and then I went to Lewis County High School and everything. I graduated from WU Medicine. I'm currently a finance director for WU Medicine for the southern part of the state. To be honest, 5-6 years ago, I wouldn't even think about wanting a position like that, but just seeing how Weston's changing, it is. So the good, it'd be nice to be a part of that and put my 2 cents in. I mean, with the structures, being taken into hand and being tore down and making our city beautiful and back to where it was at one time, make it desirable for businesses to come in, retirees, for our children to see these playgrounds that we're setting up and our safety issue here, and they to have families to stay here, not to go to college and move out and bounce. I just think it'd be great to be a part of that and make Weston to what it was before. So thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming. Okay, next we have approval of minutes. You have the regular session.
December 1st and December 15th are in your packet. The ones for July have not been written yet.
Okay. So if you want to take a few minutes and look over the December 1st and 15th. Approve those. Approve those. Okay, so there's a motion to approve.
Yes.
And is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next are reports of city boards, commissions, and outside agencies. Historic Landmarks Commission, next meeting Thursday, January 8th at 4:30 p.m. And Councilman Rogers, do you have an update with that? I was talking with Region 7 Planning and Development Council today, and they said that the HLC needs to be set up in Sam's to draw down the money from the USDA grant.
I had not heard that.
Joe, were you aware?
No, I thought that we had agreed that the city of Weston was going to be.
They said that it couldn't be the city of Weston, I guess because the application was written in the Historic Landmarks Commission's name.
I have not received that correspondence.
Okay,
The commission president perhaps had received that correspondence.
that was Terry who mentioned it to me today, and so we just we need to figure out who's going to do that application for seniors. Get
I
that
thought
done.
Region 7 was going to,
Are they taking care of our sign up?
they were doing something. I have not been included in any of those
I
emails.
was glad to hear that we're that far along, that we're getting there.
Right, we are.
Okay,
And Region 7 has done some extensive work on that. I've just not been included on some of the emails, and that's easy to do.
and this is for work on the Weston Cultural
Yes,
Center.
right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Planning Commission meeting, Wednesday, January 7th at 4 p.m. And we are supposed to have an update from WVU Law Clinic on the work that they've been doing on making these zoning, ordinance change proposals. I don't know how much of that they have ready, that they've been working for a couple of months on. Board of Parks and Rec, January 9th meeting at 3 p.m. The EDA, January 28th at 5 p.m. Tree Commission, Thursday, January 15th at 3. Arts Council, the 13th at 6. Land Reuse Agency, January 26th at 5 p.m. The Housing Authority, January 7th at 4:30 p.m. And I don't know if you noticed, but we appointed James Bandy to the board on December the 17th. Neighborhood Watch will resume in March of 2026, and the Lewis Gilmer Solid Waste Authority's meeting will be the 21st at 6:30 p.m. There is one vacancy for the Historic Landmarks Commission and Weston Planning Commission, one position. Board of Zoning, 2 positions. Municipal Appeals Board, 1 position. And Code of Appeals, 3 positions. And also, I'd like to mention to Joe, I think it would be nice if we could include our on track for future meetings. We really need to become more formal with that, and I think we were to have our media campaign was to start in January. So it would be nice to hear from Barb on that. Next, Sanitary Board Director.
Just to be clear, you all do have my report in your packet. Excuse me. I'm not gonna go over anything in that unless you all have specific questions about it. I will go over the financial side of things, for total collection in December. And 273,148.17, and of that, stormwater collections for 3,668,053. And just the sewer collections were 216,701.03. And I'll let Joe in his report go over the fire fee collections of that part. But those were the financial side of the collections for the month of December. Our meeting is next Monday at 4:30. As you're always invited to those meetings, we encourage you to come if you can at all. Anything else though that you may have questions about as far as the report goes, or any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Much like me, my battery's dead. Anyone have questions for me about her report? Next finance report. Sorry.
I'll just give a brief report on a few things. one fire fee collections for the first two fire fees last month were $29,683.98, which is back up a little bit from last month. Last month it was down to 20,000. I don't think, I think that it's organically back up to 29,000. I don't think that it's up to 29,000 because of collections. You remember that we did meet the threshold last month to submit to collections, and we did that. Usually when payments come in because of collections, I hear about it, because people usually are pretty vocal about responding to collections. Since I haven't heard anything, I'm assuming that that's an organic breach, and not the result of the collections agency. But I'm not very certain, but we are hoping that that number creeps closer to 50,000. So it's been hovering in that 30 to 40, and then last month it get down to 20, but now it's back up to 30. But we're hoping to get back up to 50. Otherwise, other things continue to go well. I think one test this last quarter, this was our second quarter, automating, tax returns. And I think so far everything looks like it went okay. So that was great, because that's going to save a lot of personnel time in the future. Other than that, I'll jump into a few of these items real quick. Consideration of transfer to vacant structures fund. This was one of the months that we had no payments in the vacant structures fund, so there's no transfer. That happened because we feel it about quarterly, and we're at the point with that program now where the good actors are usually paying into the quarter, and then by the end of the quarter, we're not receiving payments, most of see nothing there. The check detail report starts on page 46 of the packet. And there's a consideration of transfer to general fund there, and that's actually just the carry over from the last amendment. That's not meant to be there until you got to be able to look at it. But I'll answer any questions you have, but otherwise, I'll answer you if you include the check detail report on page 36.
I have a question. Are we still investing in CDs?
We are, yeah. We have, and I'll bring you an update on those things, but we have CDs across the general fund, the vacant structures fund, sorry, I think Parks and Rec has a CD, which I have never big account at the same rate as like I've lost for I don't have for funds. But yeah, we are still invested in CDs.
So are we going, when they mature, do we just roll them back over?
Yeah, that's when we passed the initial policy, that was basically the default was. Yeah, because we just for everybody's awareness. Under state code, we're not allowed to tie that money up for more than 1 year. So basically our options are to invest in either 364-day CDs or 6-month CDs. Those are the two options available on the market that meet state codes. So we have CDs in 6-month options. And then our policy is if we don't need the cash flow, then we just let it roll up for every 6 weeks. And I think October 8th is usually when that happens.
I couldn't remember the mature, so this is.
Yeah, I think it's around October and April. And because there's one that's different. I'm sorry, I don't have it on the top of my head. There's one that matures as a different schedule. But I can bring updates on those things because I know it's. And again, my apologies for this. When we get a finance manager, you'll have more frequent, better updates on things. It continues to be a challenge and say what I think.
Yeah, I thought January was might have been one of the.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, we most of them are, I think, October 8th. Well,
I'll entertain a motion to approve the expense check detail report. I so move.
so
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, you have consideration to transfer to general fund.
sorry, that was the one that was the carryover from last month's agenda and doesn't.
Oh, okay. Is that all you have for finance, Joe? Street Department report.
The reports in the packet, if you all have any questions, that we haven't answered those.
Any questions from council to Mike?
Not, I have a couple other things I need to talk about, if that's okay.
Pardon?
If not, I have a couple other things I need to speak to you all about, if that's okay.
Okay.
The other one thing is, and I've spoken with Joe on this, that, we're looking at, which we have these snow and stuff removal that we're having now. Need to put on your all's radar here that we're probably gonna have to invest in some salt spreaders and stuff, cause I've got some salt spreaders. I could probably put an antique, license on some of those. And I spoke with Joe on that. I've got a truck that's 27 years old. It's got some salt spreaders that are about 16 years old. I keep dumping money in them to keep them going. So just on your radar here before long, we're probably gonna have to look into something for that. Just letting you know.
How much is this?
About $6,200 or something like that. Yeah, depending on whether you go with gasoline or you go with small diesel. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather go with the gasoline like we got now. But 68, probably the max would be 60. But when it comes down to that point and we're ready to do that, I can show with Joe and we can sit down and discuss with you what I'm putting into some of these older things. I think the lot wanted to maybe by now, okay, in the last couple of years. Just want to let you give an update on that and put that on your all's radar. The other thing is, I think it's Friday will be my last day for a while. I want to have surgery in Cleveland. Yeah.
And then people do anything for, Shonda, anything personally, is absolutely.
Don't make us drag you back.
I was just gonna say,
I'll be back.
I was just gonna say, don't do anything to get out of snow removal.
Yeah.
It's either do it now or do it sometime in March, and Joe and I discussed that, and they said that, actually, they moved this surgery up, which Joe was kind of happy that they done that, because Joe's gonna have to be out about the same time I was gonna be out, so.
Or he's having a baby. Me and Mike both had it say that.
So, yeah, might be a little tough, but, I should be out no longer than maybe, depending on what, you guys come up with, or Joe comes up with, and the doctor, probably no more than 6 weeks, maybe 7. We'll be working from home, and the guys need to talk to me, but I'll send out an email to you guys and let you all know what's going on.
And in those 6 weeks, you don't.
Yeah, in 6 weeks, fully felt like, that's good.
We sure hope all the best.
Thank you, I appreciate it, but I just want to give you all a warning on that. That's it, that's all I got.
Hey, Mike, I do have one question. Number 23 on David Goldsmith, hired as a temp. Does he only work when we need the sidewalks and stuff cleaned, or is he just a
Right now,
temp?
Debbie, we have got him for cleaning sidewalks. Joe is using him some places in the office. I think Joe had some rooms that need to be painted, and I think to keep the costs down to getting a contractor and stuff in there, he has been doing some painting for Joe and taking care of some rooms in there. And no, he will, we're just watching that, Debbie, on that, and when there's times that we do need him. It's like today, I had a couple guys off, and yeah, there's times that I can use him. But right now, that's just a temporary thing.
No, that's fine. I just wondered about the way it was worded there.
He has no guaranteed settlement hours,
Oh.
so it sounds like we're.
I don't know.
I think it's 10:40.
Yeah, well, yeah, we gotta keep it under 1,040 hours.
Yeah.
For his contract period, which I'm.
No, he's no way near that, but and to be honest with you, when you're down 2 people and we've had a day like today. It was nice to have that person. Just putting him on his
Well, I understand. We were just wondering.
How long is his contract for?
Oh, it's not for a set period of time. We have him as a seasonal temp employee. And what we told him was, as long as it looks like there's a threat of snow on the sidewalks, just over. So I'd say it's probably for lunch.
And again, Mr. Sanders, that is what we use him for on the sidewalks, we need to keep our stuff all clean. And what we own and stuff like that, it was pretty hard on Martin to tell someone they use sidewalks if we don't have ours clean. So that's why we basically brought him into that.
Thank you, Mike.
Well,
Next, police department report.
Well, we started this morning off on a good step. We had 2 people in the academy. We're down to 1.
Oh, no.
Got 1 scheduled for an interview tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. There's a stat in there from my peer for her yearly stats. She's also here when I can talk about somewhere talk. That's okay.
Absolutely.
Sure.
You have to come to the mark.
It's a
Kathy can get out of in here.
Lindsay, hit that button, Kevin. I'm waiting for him.
Alright, as most of you know, my name is Lindsay and I am the peer embedded in the Weston Police Department. I work closely with people who are unhoused or struggling with substance use to help them access the support they need to rebuild their lives. I've helped multiple individuals obtain identification so they can apply for housing, assisted with medical appointments, connected them to treatment, and I have done harm reduction outreach. I also participate in ride-alongs with law enforcement to check on people in the community and help build trust between the unhoused and the police. One of my most meaningful experiences involved a couple who were unhoused and expected a baby. They lost custody of children in the past and were struggling to find stability. Neither of them had identification, which made it difficult to get jobs or housing. I continued showing up for them, helping them gather the documents they needed to get IDs and eventually help them secure employment and stable housing. Because of the progress they made, CPS gave them a second chance to be involved in their child's life. The baby has since been born and the parents now have regular visitations. Watching them stay committed to improving their lives and their family's future has been one of the most rewarding parts of my work. I also had a client who had overdosed. I followed up with him at the hospital and we spent some time talking about what led up to the moment and what he wanted for his future. He agreed to go to treatment and I helped him get admitted. He completed the 28-day program and is now living in sober living, working, and just celebrated 8 months of sobriety. These experiences remind me every day why this work matters. Building relationships, meeting people where they are, and giving them hope and options can truly change lives. It's not always easy, but seeing people find stability, safety, and purpose again makes every effort worth it. In the past year, I completed 380 outreach engagements, resulting in 252 follow-up contacts to ensure continued connection to services. Helped 26 people obtain proper identification to support their efforts on housing and employment. I transported individuals 146 times to treatment, services, and appointments, preventing individuals from falling through service gaps. And then last but not least, I also facilitated 19 individuals entering treatment programs through peer outreach and follow-up support. While the number may seem modest, each referral represents a life potentially diverted from overdose, homelessness, or ongoing substance use, and often requires multiple contacts and trust building to achieve.
Not to mention your training hours. Thank you. Your training hours, I really appreciate the fact that you are continually looking and taking the time to train. Appreciate as well as everything else that you do on how it comes time to do everything that you do. But I certainly appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry.
We see the evidence of your good work every day, and we hope we can keep you for as long as possible because you do make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Hey, any questions on the police report or for Lindsay? Thank you. Next, fire department report.
Yeah, my report starts a little bit late. State switched to a whole new system. It was kind of funky and get all the reports on it yet. So we're trying to look at it. We are testing tomorrow for civil service tests. We have 10 applicants right now. This year, we ended the year with more than 1,300 calls. But our the busiest year we've had in the past 2 years. That's not all New Year's Eve. We're not celebrating as up on Rex all night. Snap with the April. EMS reports in there. It's the best month we've had for EMS. Did 52 runs a month, and the new ambulance is at the station. And getting it better and up and running. Definitely. Very busy.
You have the staff to man both.
We'll have the staff to fully staff one with ALS hopefully. These two shifts in one to me. The other ambulance is gonna be ready with our fire department guys, dealing with dialysis and that kind of stuff. You can start running out of Braxton County. System moving on down there. Even up in that money.
I didn't realize that, dialysis tied up in ambulance kids.
We're moving forward.
Questions for Chief Settle? Thank you. Building code zoning and animal control program.
You have part of my report. I don't know where the other part of it went. But the sheets you're missing are the building permits, the citizens' concerns, and the violations. December's typically kind of a slow month for all those things. But it was pretty typical. And we're actually seeing less citizens' concerns all the time, which is great. I love that. More and more people are complying and funding to take care of their properties and that kind of stuff, which is nice. One thing, if you look at the sheet that says the 2025 year-end numbers, they gave you a breakdown of building permits and demolitions and all that. And just for comparison, building permits were pretty steady from 24 to 25 for the calendar year. In 24, we did 166 total permits for $27,517. So we're right in line for 25 with what we did in 24. And then there's the CAT report is in there. There's several pages of it, and where she brought everything up to date, since May of 25 up to December.
Any questions for Marty? Thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I want to harp on Lindsay a little bit too. I deal with Chief Posey a lot with homeless people and stuff. And over the last 3 years, I've seen, especially the last year and a half that Lindsay's been here, there's a huge decline in the number of homeless people that we have breaking into houses, sleeping under bridges and things like that. There's always a couple. But there's been a huge decline in that, and I think that's wrong.
Does our city attorney have anything to report? Okay, thank you. And you have the city clerk's report in the packet. And your next city manager report.
A few things I want to talk to you about. One, I'm really happy that the way sidewalk care has gone during the last few snow seasons. I think this is probably the first snow season that we've really had effective sidewalks. We tried last year, it didn't go real big. We got a little bit done, not enough done, and it's gone really well this year. Basically, what we do is we took one of those summer temp positions and it's put it to the winter and made it a winter temp position. I think it's going really well. I am offering a 10 extra hours working in the building when it's available. the last time, just for some context on that, the last time that we had a really short stairs when we this one, the contract cost was over $1,000. So I paid it because the work was done, but I said last time, contacted anybody do that. So we're trying to get that done. As you know, we're doing a light refresh upstairs as we're getting ready to put in the platform lift. But using in-house labor is a much cheaper way to get that done. Of course, it's a low priority compared to all the things folks for labor down across the city, so it's nice to have the extra body there to do odd stuff. Just to be fully candid, it's my hope to add another full-time regular body to the public works department, probably before the end of the fiscal year. And I think we'll get to a budgetary place where we'll be able to do that soon. One of the things I think that you remember, we just tried to set out to do since last about March when we combined the public works department. Just to try to grow the capacity there and add bodies there. We have added some bodies there. And I think we usually run into things that come along that we say, we'll use another labor, and so it's just a matter of finding the budgetary momentum to make it happen, and I think close to that there too. But right now, he is a seasonal temp, either through the snow season or until it is 1,040 hours, whichever comes first. The 1,040 hours comes from our contract with PEIA, which basically says we have to start off in PEIA after you finish that. A few other things, the electric at Lively Park was turned on by Mountain Power sometime over the weekend. So Lynx is coming out tomorrow. I'm not gonna need to put the camera up there. Parks and Rec is meeting later this week. You saw that earlier on the agenda. One of the things that they have up for discussion is they've possibly identified a place to put a park in Ward 3. And they're going to they're gonna try to pursue that under their own auspices. One of the next things you receive every month is for Parks and Rec. I think they have about $12,000 on hand. They're gonna try to pursue that over their own auspices. I think they're probably gonna end up coming back to the council and support them. But I'm excited that it's happening.
Me too.
So Mike Posey told you that he's got an interview later this week, and we had 2 people going to the academy. Unfortunately, that's dropped down to 1. But when we had an interview scheduled and 2 people going to the academy, we had this moment where we said, we're gonna have cruisers. We're not gonna have a backup cruiser. We've been using Bornat Check as part-time police aid for quite some time. It's basically just so she left us and show up with her when she went full-time to white home. And if we would have kept all 3 on the radar, we would not have had a cruiser for Lauren. Want to keep her as part-time support, which I think. So it's no longer a dire issue because we did lose that one going to academy. But as we get closer to being fully staffed in the police department, I think we're probably going to be discussing getting another cruiser soon. And then something that may also be part of that discussion is possibly trading off one of the newer Durangos that we have. One of the Durangos that we have, it didn't reach the threshold for letter law, but it's just been a pain in our butt as long as we've had it. It's one of the 2020s. And I think the latest thing is it's killing every data it gets. City mechanic trying to put a kill switch in it. He's not even identifying what was doing it. It's still killing every data it has. So 2 things that may come up for discussion in the future. One would be acquiring another police cruiser if we could get to that point that we would need that to keep part-time police aid on hand. And then the other maybe just trading off that Durango for a different cruiser that's costs those savings.
Joe, do you want me to, you're fortunate enough to secure it with CA.
I was gonna suggest
Yeah.
that
Do you
too.
want me to do that?
I was just.
I'm trying to check
Yeah,
out
please
that.
pursue it. We don't qualify for as much grant as we used to.
I know,
But
but we
dollar
can
we
try,
get,
yes.
yeah, it used to be that I think we qualified for 80% grant, 100% match, and it's flipped since last trend, it's now qualified for 20% grant, 100% match or something. But still, that's gonna be thousands of dollars to do the same.
Sure.
So yes, please,
I'll go and check them.
thank you. I think we may have mentioned this before, but we did not receive, the FEMA grant related to the fire department. But because we do have fire fees coming in now, we mentioned that he's got some service testing. We're gonna try to add 1 or 2 firefighters here soon. The other thing I want to give you a quick update on is I said this month was gonna be the month of employee handbook updates because we have 3 that was potentially on the docket. There's only one tonight. Susan Decker has pumped the brakes on the others, but we will hopefully get back to them next month. She just has some good concerns that she's still going to related to drug testing and meeting the standing with the city. So I think that's all I have for city manager report. Any questions for me?
Questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept all departmental reports.
Second the motion.
It's been moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, consideration of second reading ordinance 2025-07, creation of working for our Weston Volunteer Corps. I'll entertain a motion to have the second reading by title only.
I'll move to have the second reading of ordinance 2025-07. By title.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the city of Weston establishing the work for our Weston, WOW volunteer corps for second reading.
I entertain a motion to accept the second reading of ordinance 2025-07 by title only.
I move to accept.
It's been moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, under new business, consideration of resolution regarding gubernatorial cessation of business days. That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. I'll give a little bit of update on sort of what the background here is and what you might do, although to be clear, I'm not asking you to be. From time to time, the governor will declare what we believe is a session of business for the executive branch of government in West Virginia. So he will tell the state workers, you will hold on this day, or maybe the next day, or maybe a day or something. I think there's been a question about how does this impact the city? Why does the city appear to follow suit on that? And what's the story behind that? So in our handbook, it says that we will recognize holidays as declared by the governor and president. I don't believe that language includes these days, because the governor is not declaring a holiday per se when he's doing this. He's just declaring it's a sessionable day. However, police and fire fall under a different set of rules called civil service guidelines, which is regulated by state code. And one of the things the state code says for civil service employees is that at minimum, and so your employee handbook may go further than this, but at minimum, you have to recognize those holidays recognized in state code 2-2-1. State code 2-2-1 goes further than our language does not mean, and talks about days that the governor calls for cessation of work is treated as holidays by state code. So in the past, I know the former city manager has saw legal counsel on this, and I saw legal counsel on this as well. And whether it's Brian or Sam or Susan Deneker, the consensus is usually civil service is almost impossible to interpret. The civil service pay code. I'm sure you've heard recently, Clarksville was in a lawsuit with their firefighters because they couldn't agree on the official civil service pay code. But that you had the least liability if you found in favor of the police and firefighters. So that's where you're not gonna have liability until the court settles something like that. that is the safest way to go, is to honor that for the police and firefighters, for the civil service employees. Susan Deneker has then gone further to recommend, as a matter of good policy, that if we're going to do it for civil service employees, because the small nature of our city employment, and the way that the departments work together, that we also go and recognize that for non-civil service employees. Because what you have is the fire department, you've got firefighters from civil service, and you've got ambulance drivers who aren't, and they're working next to each other on the same equipment. At the city building, we've got police men who are civil service, and then the other half of that is the municipal court, and the person court are not civil service. And then likewise, your two chiefs are not civil service, so you would be in a situation where they're having to work, but their reports are getting paid holiday time now. So her recommendation has been we honor that for both civil service and non-civil service.
Is there a reason why this is on the agenda? Or maybe not?
I had
Is
people
there a
complain to
problem?
me, it was me, I had people complain to me, like 6 people complained. So I sent it to Joe and,
For clarification.
And so city charter leaves it up to the city manager and the city clerk to make these kind of calls and make these kind of interpretations. It's just, so you know, it's my intention. Unless council tells me otherwise, I'm going to follow legal counsel on this. And we'll continue to recognize those individual days off. But there is, if council wanted to give other direction, I've prepared what that could look like on page 108 of your packet. But just to be clear, I am not recommending that. I don't want to go against legal counsel. Maybe somebody should settle this in with the civil service, but not us, yeah, because people just pay. So I would recommend, my recommendation is that you on that item. Unless you have other questions, thank you. So I wanted to provide a public explanation of why we do it.
I think that was good. Okay. I move to table indefinitely.
Second.
It's been moved and second to table indefinitely. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, consideration of change to vacation time policy.
You said that last.
So if you go ahead to page 109 of your packet, and then also this moves on to the full 10. So this is related to challenges, particularly that we've had hiring finance manager. It continues to be a challenge that our city does not offer vacation, starting with employment. One of the challenges we have is that in the workforce right now, there's a big emphasis on quality time away from work, personal time being respected. And so places are offering vacation time sooner, but then also our vacation time policy becomes much more generous than maybe what would even be in the private sector after a couple of years. So we have this kind of challenge where it's not very competitive at the beginning, but then it gets very competitive within just 2 years. But it's caused a challenge in hiring folks because nobody wants to start the vacation time, guaranteed time off. So what you'll see there highlighted on page 109, so there's the original text there, and then there's what I would offer as additional language. And Susan Deneker has reviewed this and says it was fine if you want to move forward with this. So this would not replace the language that's there. This would just be additional language added. That employees hired on or after February 1st, 2026, employees hired as full-time on or after February 1st, 2025, voluntarily elect to opt into this revised vacation schedule. We'll get 40 hours upon completion of a 90-day probationary period. But then they earn 80 hours for the next 2 years. So if you go to page 110 of the packet, you see this broken down as a chart. So the original approval schedule there that was put into place October of 2020. It's basically there's no vacation time, 80, and then jump straight to 120, 120, 160. This would allow for new folks hired in, or folks hired in within the past year to voluntarily opt in. to go 40, and then 80, 120, 160. So it basically takes 40 hours away from that 2 years of service landmark, puts it after the completion of the 98 probationary period. So it's the same amount of vacation hours as the total line of city. It just takes it away from that second year of service. So right now, and this is about 120 hours upon 2 years of service is very generous. But the problem we're running into is hiring the zero, which is seen as being very stingy.
Right.
Um, So I'm hoping this balances that out a little bit. It won't change anyone who's, so the October 2020 revision, in fact, I think this is in the original language. The original language says this about the policy. This policy shall go into effect retroactively from the effective date of the original policy of October 2020. Part-time temporary employees, so that's not changing, but whereas the 2020 revision impacted everyone. This revision will only impact folks who are hired moving forward, or folks who voluntarily opted to retire.
I think it makes more sense.
If we ever want to hire anyone,
Yes,
they
I
said.
think it makes more sense. I'll make a motion to approve the change.
Is there a second to that motion to approve the proposed change?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, discussion and consideration of possible action regarding the impending vacancy on city council. To see. So Stephen, if this is fact your last meeting,
This will be my regular session, as instructed, recommended by our city manager, Joe Solberg, in agreement with the policy from my employer. My resignation date will be effective January 31st. If that is acceptable to the rest of council. That is the official timeline.
reluctantly, might be accepted.
Yes. Yes.
It's been a real pleasure working with you, and I'm sorry it's been for such a short period of time.
All right.
But I understand changes in circumstances. We will need a motion to accept Stephen's resignation effective January 31st.
I'll move to.
It's been moved in second to accept the resignation of Stephen White as of January 31st. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And it just so happens we have a little something for you. I'd like to present this to you on behalf of council. Recognition award and sincere appreciation for your service as Ward 2 councilman. Your contribution was key to our continued success and growth. So thank you very much. We can have a fun. We can get a picture.
No one's here. I have a problem with it.
And sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we'll take whatever that is on the picture.
This,
Yeah. I'll just toss it. So toss it. Okay.
Yeah, I can think forward, just,
Yes, sure.
purely business, actually, Mr. White's comments reminded me, the reason that I asked him to resign effective January 31st is because. I'm gonna email you all at some point, probably request a work session January 19th. To discuss annexation and the future elections of the city. We have potentially 2 elections prior to the final county clerk's election system, and so we need to discuss what we're doing and what that looks like. And so I've asked and invited him to be a part of that if he's able. There'll be a special session that he can still qualify, or a work session that he can still qualify to be a part of. The other thing is, council members have made me aware of these 4 different names that have been in your discussion. I see my role in that is just to make sure those folks are chartered eligible. So I've provided you with a list if you want to have discussion or deliberation on that. All the 4 people that you have all been discussing, they're all eligible to apply charter. And they all minimum qualifications and so forth. But under advisement from our city attorney, you should wait till February to make an appointment. And you should wait till the vacancy has actually occurred. Because it would be inappropriate for Mr. White to vote on his own replacement, although he is allowed to make the recommendation.
Okay, certainly.
So would this be the time to request an executive session to speak with our attorney in regards to?
I qualify for you.
So I'm sorry, you want to go into executive session to discuss what?
To seek legal advice on replacement
Oh, okay.
and procedure.
Okay, is there, you're making that motion?
Yes, I am.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I'm waiting. You're right now, that's something that we just want to say.
The attorney. And then, you know, she doesn't miss. Because you don't need to know. Put it all over.
You take the votes.
Yeah, we won't be alone.
Okay. You're right.
Okay. All right. That's it.
Not wait for the complication. Okay, just want to make sure I get the.
They may want to.
But it has to, I got here tomorrow night.
Yes, they-
But they're still, just to be clear, still waiting for space.
Yeah.
It's super.
See, I mean,
That's.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna get together 10 a.m. Susie and Senate. Right, so we can sit down. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of a joke.
Very enough, there are 2 of you.
I just.
What's that?
I reached out to.
You're going to place one. I'll let them know.
I think I
Thank you.
am, I don't think, I've been to you and I've come down to you. Units. I don't know what that.
I'm left before the party starts.
We, kids get about early, but it's gonna make them not. This time we're gonna put zipper on that maybe.
Yeah. Have you been to Cleveland before?
Yeah, I had cancer in 2000, that. That's when I had to the grade. And you're not that.
Sorry.
I keep all my treatments, it's not been sad. I had 2 younger than me, but you could stay. Hey, free and everything, so that's not that, that's how. Way I have, yeah. 36 months. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah. Yes. Are you still working? Out there, so on. Yeah. You can still have to do some work for us. I'm just looking for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, I just can't.
Same way.
And, I'm trying to get through all the stuff. I'm there till the end of the year.
It's not over.
Okay.
If it's like an old change or something.
We'll be when they come back, say, okay, we're on the executive session. No, they still gotta thank everybody on their little voice. Session. I know, that's what surprising me. Anything else on the agenda? Was that the last thing for the? Thank Ray, but he's good. Yes, it's a word, cash, I guess, with this, give us some, you can take it. I'm not. I was in clearance. Yeah, that's about how good it'd be too.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
My mom, for years and years and years, she'd fill
Yeah.
it. So did mine. And she'd check the little, no, I'm not ordering. I said, you know what? That's why this from the outside in. Yeah. I said, the only people we get from me, people we ordered. Oh, 7 magazines. Yeah, I never put that one chance in 50 million. No. She said, no, it says no purchase necessary. Yeah, you're right.
And that's.
When did you go to
I leave out Friday. Well, actually Friday was my last day here. I'm gonna be either going up Saturday morning to see all mom and friends. And I may stay at our place to get Friday, Saturday night, and then Sunday, like Monday morning, I'll be on early. I'll feel this, it takes some time. So
I bet you did.
Because it says we can do this. But anyway, I'm back. Well, that's what we want to hear. Yeah,
Mike, I'm kind of handy with a scanning knife if you want to save a few bucks.
if you could do that, I didn't care, but this time when I go, I'm just gonna let this one make it number 9. And I want them to put a zipper in there this time.
It's pretty easy access.
Yeah, easy access, put one of those, Yeti. Zippers in there where you have the leak, you know what I mean?
I get out my sharp finger, my old timer sharp finger.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about it.
I do appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, but you took the camera down? Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not recording. I can't record it. It's still recording. But there's- I was gonna get the award before some deliberation, but that's okay.
It's really nice. You're well. And we're to. We're doing. We're just giving all the best and still. Very good. High six is great for everyone. And it's.
Started thinking that, when I looked at what they sit on the council with you, just you know, get to know you better. But, wish you the best and wish the city of Weston the best. I'm looking forward to a great 2026 and hoping to see many improvements throughout the city.
To adjourn.
I will move to adjourn.
See ya.
I know we have it.
Yeah. I will thank you very much.
I talked to him just about a week ago, just like. Running, but he seemed like he. I'd say they're probably busy.
They treating you all right on here? Oh, yeah.
Everybody help me out, you know.
I know they appreciate you volunteering, to be honest. Yeah, when they came. Taking what they had for. She's been calling for her. Look at all that table, they're all good. Hey, all of this
Sir, I appreciate it.
So what did they do? They put the clamp on you down there at the FBI?
They did. They updated their policy. They basically say that any elected position is inherently political. Therefore, I cannot serve.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't think that was constitutional, but I reached out to US Special Counsel. And they told me that Bureau was operating within their bounds, so I had no legal precedent to fight it.
Well, you're
Right.
affected some more people than you.
It did. I think there were two members of Dodgers County School Board that dropped out. And I think someone else in Harrison County as well. So, it's not fun.
Well, all the best.
I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah.
How long you been up there?
Girl,
Yeah,
I'm about 4 years for sure.
it's a pretty good place to work in.
Not terrible. Not terrible. You can't stay out of the politics there. It's definitely stable.
How many people they got working? About 3,000?
Give or take, yeah.
I know.
Yeah. About 600 dicks a week. I think end class grade is another 400 or so. That's 1,000. And that's just entry level jobs. So I'd say there's probably another 2,005. Yeah. It is fun.
The only other thing I gotta find out is work at the University of Virginia Hospital. Nobody can tell you. Yes, and
I have.
just a hell of a lot of people.
That's right. That is right.
But nobody, you figure they're just for that, 7 days a week. So they gotta have a bunch. Has to do, yeah. Yeah.
Few rounds. Not getting out of town. Not yet. But eventually. Yeah.
Oh, what's it, a little more time?
Yeah, yeah, it is what it is. I'm glad you make a difference where you can. Yeah, I mean I honestly the old city manager, he was the one who got me there. He just threw my name out there to someone. Like, yeah, And so he told 3 or 4 people, and so he really liked it. All of us showed up there. He didn't have a fraction of the race going on there. It was a good time, but then when he left, I was like, dude, hang me out to dry here. But no, he really helped me out understanding city politics. I love that he's a character, he's a lover hater. I love him. But he kind of played hardball, politically, and I use politically, but I think all our relationships when it comes to business is the councilman comes from. In a sense, right? But yeah, I mean, I liked how they did things. So like when it gonna hit them where it counts, I guess, I mean that's and I think definitely losing flower is good, but also trust. I'd say the one thing I can give you is trust yourself. They put you in this position for a reason, and trust it. You have and you have paid for. If you change your mind on things, that is what it is. There's pressure there, but I would say just keep pressing forward. Thought it and so it worked. I enjoy everybody here. Trying to kill me. Not a hell up. So that's good. I mean, it's good time. If you ever need anything, obviously reach out.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be here for the work session. But yeah, I just had stuff. I had this conversation previously. He actually reached out to me. I just wanted to know. Oh, and I need to Actually, one way or the other. Some good, yeah, I'll share it. Even if I just wholeheartedly, and so that's where we get into these problems. Yeah, that's just a difference in personality. I don't agree with that. Facebook if you're gonna work. Yeah, I don't. Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're praying for you, man. Yeah, if you guys need anything, let me know. Good.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much.
I hope, I'll be there. I hope.
Yeah.
Are you done here, Joe?
That's going. All
Are you done here, Joe?
Yeah.
You want to save your changes?
16th, 19th, whatever.
Okay,
All right. Yes.
I didn't.
Okay.
No,